A Mortal's Journey to Immortality Episode 230. In the previous episode, after a period of secluded cultivation, Han Li successfully merged the celestial ice flames with the Six-Winged Frost Centipede's glacial energy, creating a devastating new power, the Purple Apex Flames. Though limited in quantity, this flame's strength far surpassed his previous techniques, capable of burning even late Nascent Soul cultivators. While he was still marveling at his progress, a sudden message from Yingning interrupted his meditation. The Moulan forces were approaching. Han Li immediately joined the other cultivators in the main hall, where Bu Yunhe, a survivor from Sky Terrace Valley, brought grim news. The Moulan army was stronger than ever, supported by enormous beasts clad in armor and bound by strange restrictions that could shatter grand formations with brute force. Despite their concern, Han Li and the others prepared to defend the Yellow Dragon Mountains. The ominous sound of war drums soon filled the air as the Moulan army appeared on the horizon, a vast tide of spell warriors led by terrifying figures, including a black-robed cultivator surrounded by dark demonic energy that radiated an aura of dread. And the episode 230 continues. The two high-grade spell warriors at the black figure's side whispered something, as if discussing how to destroy the grand formation ahead of them. Once they finished, the tall, shriveled cultivator wrapped himself in azure light and moved beside the black-robed figure. "Sir Heavenweep, shall we start?" he asked. "The grand formation here should be stronger than the last, and I've heard there are several Nascent Soul cultivators guarding it. It might take quite some time." But the black-robed spell warrior's hoarse, chilling voice answered, "There is no need for us to attack first. They've already decided to emerge. Let's see how powerful they are before we act." His words were muffled and eerie, as though his tongue had been cut out, sending shivers down the spines of those nearby. Just as he predicted, the thick green mist ahead began to stir. It split apart, glowing from within as 7 streaks of light shot out into the sky. They circled once before revealing a group of cultivators, 5 at the Nascent Soul stage and 2 at the core formation stage. Han Li hovered among them, quietly observing the vast army of spell warriors before them. His gaze soon fell upon the sinister black-robed figure leading the enemy forces. The aura surrounding that man was unsettling. It reminded Han Li of the Bone Sage, xianxia, who had once taken over Crooked Soul's body. Though the resemblance was not exact, the dense ghostly energy made Han Li's heart tighten in caution. As Han Li studied him, a stir swept through the spell warriors above. One of them, a man with a massive python coiled around his body, suddenly transformed into a blazing sphere of fire and dove toward the cultivators. The enormous fireball roared through the air, radiating scorching heat even from a distance. But none of the cultivators moved. Their expressions remained cold and calm. They knew this was not a reckless attack. Indeed, the fireball halted some 20 meters in front of them before a booming voice echoed through the sky. "I am the Fire-Rite tribe's great sage Ku Yao," the voice thundered. "Since you've come, you must wish to test our strength. How shall we fight, one-on-one, or a group battle?" The bald cultivator leading the human side glared coldly at the flames. "One-on-one," he replied. "Let heaven decide who survives." Ku Yao laughed wildly. "Good, that's just what I wanted. I'll be your first opponent. Send someone forward." Enraged by his arrogance, the cultivators clenched their fists. Old Man Ma's eyes filled with killing intent, and without hesitation, his figure blurred into a streak of white light, flying forward to accept the challenge. The bald man leading them hesitated but did not stop him. He didn't yet know who among them was strongest and assumed Old Man Ma's cultivation would be enough. The two fighters met halfway between the army of spell warriors and the green mist, a clear, open field where neither side could interfere. The bald man then turned to a horse-faced cultivator and asked solemnly, "What are this Moulan sage's abilities? Does he have any special techniques?" The man replied grimly, "His fire techniques are terrifyingly strong. The flame python he controls is fast and ruthless. One of our core formation guards was burned to ash by it." The bald cultivator turned to Ji Shuanggu and said, "Brother Ji, your grand righteousness arts are said to resist heat, flames, and even evil energy. Wouldn't that counter his fire spells? Yu Shuangpu frowned. If it were ordinary fire magic, yes, but if that man has mastered the 3 essences of worldly spirit flames, even my techniques might not be enough. Still, fellow Taoist Ma is the most suitable. His grand righteousness arts can at least prevent his mind from being overwhelmed by the demonic influence of those flames. Hearing that, the bald man nodded slowly, finally relaxing a little. Han Li, watching from the side, activated his spiritual vision. Blue light flickered in his eyes as he observed the fiery python wrapped around Ku Yao. His expression shifted slightly. He sensed something strange about the creature. Old Man Ma stood firm in midair, forming a hand seal. A soft white light spread across his body. Then, he spat out a small silver speck the size of a walnut. With a gust of wind, it expanded into a shining silver ruler that trembled and released thousands of glimmers, crying like a divine phoenix echoing through the heavens. Ku Yao, however, didn't move. He crossed his arms and smirked, his indifference infuriating Old Man Ma. With a cold snort, the old cultivator prepared to strike first, but before he acted, a faint voice transmission reached his ear. It was so soft it was nearly inaudible, yet perfectly clear. Startled, Old Man Ma's eyes widened. He looked around and soon noticed Han Li gazing calmly at him. Realizing the message came from him, he nodded slightly in acknowledgement, though doubt and curiosity filled his heart. Then he faced Ku Yao once more and said coldly, "That fire python of yours, it isn't an ordinary spirit beast, is it?" Ku Yao's sneer deepened. "Oh, you can tell that much? Indeed, it's no common beast. My python was forged from a worldly fire spirit itself. It's far beyond a mere creature." At his words, his body trembled and the fiery python burst into brilliant red light. Soaring into the air, its form changed. A horn grew from its head, claws extended from its body, and glimmering crimson scales covered it from head to tail. What hovered above Ku Yao now was not a serpent but a fire spirit flood dragon. The bald man gasped in alarm, shouting, "A transformed fire spirit!" Yu Shuangpu's face darkened. This was something far beyond what an ordinary Nascent Soul spell warrior could achieve. Old Man Ma's heart sank. Refining and transforming a worldly fire spirit required immense mastery over flame techniques. His opponent's strength was clearly extraordinary. Abandoning all thought of restraint, Old Man Ma decided to fight with his full power. Taking a deep breath, he swept his sleeve, summoning a treasure that gleamed with rainbow light. It circled once above his head, floating steadily in the air. The object was a faintly yellow scroll, about a meter long, which slowly unfurled toward Ku Yao as the old man began chanting a solemn incantation. As the scroll opened, it revealed a glowing 8-trigram diagram. When Old Man Ma struck it with a spell seal, brilliant light erupted from its surface, and powerful energy waves rippled through the air. Sensing danger, Ku Yao pointed sharply at his opponent. Above him, the fire spirit flood dragon opened its massive jaws and unleashed an endless torrent of scarlet flames. The fiery flood poured down like a burning sea, engulfing Old Man Ma and his 8-trigram scroll in an inferno that blazed brighter than the sun. And that wraps up this episode. In this part, we saw tensions rise to a new level as Han Li and the group of cultivators finally confronted the powerful Moulan spell warriors. From the very beginning, the atmosphere was filled with hostility and anticipation. The mysterious black-robed figure known as Heavenweep led the enemy army with a calm yet terrifying presence, his hoarse and distorted voice sending chills through everyone who heard it. His aura carried an unnatural coldness that reminded Han Li of the Bone Sage, suggesting that this man might also be walking the dark path of ghostly cultivation. When the cultivators emerged from the green mist, 7 streaks of light appeared in the sky, a symbol of their unity and determination. Han Li, together with several other Nascent Soul experts, faced an army of spell warriors numbering in the thousands. But rather than a chaotic clash, the two sides agreed to fight one-on-one to test each other's strength. This not only showed their pride and confidence but also the cautious balance of power between them. The first battle was between Old Man Ma and the Firelight Tribe's great sage Ku Yao. a spell warrior who wielded terrifying fire techniques. At first, Old Man Ma appeared confident, relying on his grand righteousness arts to resist the flames. However, as the duel began, Ku Yao revealed the true extent of his mastery. His fire python was not an ordinary spirit beast but a creature formed from a worldly fire spirit itself. Before everyone's eyes, the fiery serpent transformed into a mighty fire spirit flood dragon, radiating enough heat to scorch the very air around it. This shocking transformation showed that Ku Yao's understanding of flame techniques had reached a near divine level, one capable of refining and transforming elemental spirits. The revelation left both sides stunned, proving that the Moulan's top spell warriors were far more dangerous than anyone had expected. Han Li's calm observation throughout the battle also offered us insight into his keen awareness and deep comprehension of spiritual phenomena. Even in the face of overwhelming danger, he remained composed and analytical, a sign of his growth and maturity as a cultivator. His brief voice transmission to Old Man Ma hinted that he had already noticed the true nature of the fiery creature long before it revealed itself, showing just how sharp Han Li's senses had become. This episode highlights several important themes: the rising tension between the two great factions, the power and mystery of the Moulan's elemental arts, and the growing awareness that every battle from here on will demand full strength and wisdom. It also reminds us of how far Han Li has come, no longer a mere observer, but a strategist and protector who sees through the hidden layers of danger surrounding him. If you enjoyed this episode or found it interesting, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel to receive notifications for the latest episodes in Han Li's journey. Thank you so much for watching, and see you again in the next video.